I'll never forget the day I met Jake. It started out like any other sunny afternoon in our little town. I was driving back home from running errands when I spotted him. Just a kid, probably no older than 14, standing on the corner of Maple Street with a makeshift lemonade stand. It wasn't much to look at. The sign was handwritten on a piece of cardboard, and the table he used wobbled with every gust of wind. But there he was, smiling and waving at every car that passed by, as if he didn't have a care in the world. I almost drove right past him, but something made me stop. Maybe it was the determination in his eyes or the way he seemed so hopeful, despite the odds stacked against him. When I walked up, I noticed the sign, "Lemonade, 50 cents per cup. Help me pay for football camp." "Hey there," I said with a smile. "How's business?" He grinned. "It's okay. Not a lot of people stopping, but I'm trying my best." I bought a cup and we started chatting. Turns out Jake's dad had passed away a couple of years ago, and his mom was doing her best to keep things afloat. Money was tight, but Jake had a dream. He wanted to go to a football camp that his favorite coach had told him about. Problem was, the camp cost $250, and there was no way his mom could afford it. So Jake decided to take matters into his own hands. He borrowed some supplies from neighbors, made a big batch of lemonade, and set up his little stand. As I sipped my drink, I couldn't help but admire his spirit. Here was this kid, doing whatever he could to chase his dream. But not everyone saw it that way. While we were talking, a police car pulled up. My stomach tightened as the officer got out. He was a tall man with a stern expression, the kind that made you feel guilty even if you hadn't done anything wrong. "What's going on here?" the cop asked, looking Jake up and down. Jake stammered, I'm just selling lemonade, sir." The officer raised an eyebrow. "You got a permit for this?" Jake's face fell. "A permit? No, I didn't know I needed one." The cop chuckled, but it wasn't the friendly kind of laugh. It was the kind that made you feel small. "Kid, you can't just set up shop wherever you want. That's not how the world works." I could see Jake's confidence start to crumble. His hands fidgeted, and he looked down at his sneakers. "I didn't mean any harm," he said quietly. "I'm just trying to earn some money for football camp." The officer shook his head. "Well, pack it up. You can't do this here." My heart ached watching Jake's dream fall apart right in front of him. But just as I was about to step in, something amazing happened. A man in a business suit, who had been walking by, stopped. He looked at Jake, then at the cop, and said, "Is there a problem here?" The cop shrugged. "The kid doesn't have a permit. He's gotta go." The man frowned. "Are you seriously shutting down a lemonade stand? A kid trying to earn money for something good? Come on, officer, have a heart." By now, other people were starting to gather. A woman with a stroller chimed in. "He's not hurting anyone. Let the boy sell his lemonade." Another man, holding a bag of groceries, added, "This kid is working hard and you're gonna shut him down? Really?" The officer hesitated, clearly uncomfortable with the growing crowd. After a moment, he sighed and said, "Fine. Just keep it out of the way, all right?" As he drove off, the man in the suit turned to Jake. "Don't let people like that stop you, son. You're doing something great." Jake nodded, though I could see the tears welling up in his eyes. But what happened next blew me away. The man reached into his wallet and pulled out a crisp $50 bill. "Here, for your camp fund." Jake's jaw dropped. "Are you serious?" "Absolutely," the man said with a smile. Then, one by one, the people who had gathered started chipping in. A couple of dollars here, a $5 there. Even the woman with the stroller handed Jake a $10 bill. In less than 10 minutes, Jake had enough money to cover the camp fee, and then some. I'll never forget the look on his face as he counted the bills. It wasn't just gratitude. It was hope. "Thank you," he said, his voice cracking. "Thank you so much." The man in the suit patted him on the shoulder. "You've got a bright future ahead of you, kid. Keep working hard, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise." As I walked back to my car, I couldn't stop smiling. It wasn't just about the money or the camp. It was about how strangers came together to lift up a kid who needed a little help. Jake reminded me that no matter how tough the world gets, there's still kindness out there. And sometimes, all it takes is a cup of lemonade to restore your faith in humanity. That day wasn't just about Jake's dream. It was a reminder to all of us that small acts of kindness can make a big difference.